Is there anyone in your life that when you think of them, you smile? So memorable that they stand out in your mind? Or maybe there's someone who made an impact on you more than you'll ever know. Alyssa was that person for me. She was one of those longtime friends where we could go weeks, months at a time and come back to each other and pick up right where we left off. We were friends for about 18 years, starting back from when we were little farts, about this high, maybe 10 years old. And we grew up together. And she was beside me through a lot of firsts in my life, as I was for her. First boyfriends, parties, first criminal charges. She was there when my mom left my dad, which was a tougher season in my life. She was part of that last trip when came with us to visit the new town. And unfortunately, the people that we connected with when we first moved there were not exactly the greatest characters to hang around with. And we both ended up with juvenile criminal records at the age of 16. Alyssa was right there by my side too for that. Because after all, what are friends for? We were a little bold and a lot courageous, and that was a lesson that I learned growing up, that sometimes risks are worth it and sometimes they're not. And that's part of life, figuring it all out. After that incident though, her mom, needless to say, didn't like me very much. I can't for the life of me imagine why, but we had fun, and that was a long time ago. She was this gorgeous girl with these big blue eyes that sparkled when she smiled and cute little dimples to boot. Beautiful hair that she always wore up in a bun, a messy bun for some reason. I don't know why, because it was gorgeous. And she usually wore pants regardless of the occasion because she hated the look of her chicken legs. And you could usually hear her coming down the hall. Chicken bun, chicken bun, chicken bun. She made this huge grin on her face, waving like crazy just to let you know she was there. Fast forward to our 20s. It had been a little while since we had connected, and she sat me down on my front step and told me that she had an opioid addiction and she was in recovery. She was living with her boyfriend at the time, not far from my place, and we took that opportunity to have some really great quality time together. Patio drinks and laughing about old times and all of the funny things that we used to do. It was really great. And one time I had Alyssa babysit for me. And there was something that happened that really infuriated me. My son Levi was 2 at the time. And long story short, she got drunk while she was babysitting my child. And this wasn't just a little buzz. She was wasted, like I'm talking about. I was rolling back in her head, wasted, falling off her chair, can barely speak. It was a very serious situation because she was responsible for the safety of my child. For the parents in the room, has the safety of your children ever been compromised? Heart-wrenching, right? I didn't talk to her for a long time after that, and she really made the effort and was very remorseful, and I decided that our friendship was worth it. And I accepted her apology. I mean, we all make mistakes, right? So we had made a plan to see each other after a weekend I was spending away, and we were both super stoked to see each other. Unfortunately, though, I didn't have that opportunity because while I was away, she was at Blues Fest that weekend and went out partying. And when she went to bed, she didn't wake up the next day. She had an accidental overdose. Her boyfriend was a drug dealer, probably not the best scenario for someone in recovery. And just like that, I lost my best friend. Am I ever glad that I forgave her? Because I would have regretted it to this day. And even though I didn't feel like I really got the chance to tell her to hug her and say it's okay, I'm reminded of the importance of taking the time to tell our loved ones that we care about them, that they really matter to us, because you just never know. Alyssa was a wild child with this infectious laughter that would light up a room. Anytime there was a good song that came on, and there were a lot of good songs that came on, she would stand up wherever she was, raise her hands in the air, and bust a move. Dum, dum, dee, dum, 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 dum. Do you feel that? That's kind of how you felt when she was in the room. That energy, not a care in the world. Didn't matter who was watching. And it makes me think of how many times I've held back on doing something, anything, because of how others might think. Afraid to take that step, afraid to dance, even when I really want to, for fear of being judged or looking silly, even if it might feel really good. Alyssa taught me the importance of being myself, being unapologetically me, and to dance like no one is watching. After she passed, her mom and I became very close, and over the years, our relationship deepened. I was there for her when she got her GED after finishing high school. I stayed in the hospital when she had her ovaries removed due to cancer. And we also danced like no one was watching, being silly and having fun, just like her daughter and I did. She was so happy to see my son Levi grow up. She was always so proud of me. She always said, it's not goodbye, it's see you later. Because goodbye has this certain finality to it, but see you later, there's a next time. Alyssa lived on with our bond because she was so special to both of us, and just one of those memorable people that will forever hold a place right here. And I'll invite you to think of someone who stands out in your mind, someone who you loved, who touched your life in a certain way. Is there someone you need to forgive before you regret? And is there someone you can reach out to today to tell them how much they matter to you? Because after all, what are friends for?